As you've experienced a hard drive failure, or you're looking to just increase the capacity or storage space of your hard drive, first thing you want to do prior to getting your system to this state here is, of course, go to support.dell.com. You can put in your service tag. There's a link there where you can open up the manual. It'll give you the first step, and there are some safety warnings that you need to adhere to, which basically explains to go in and unplug every external connector that is connected to your system. Now, for the purposes of this display, the system is setting up on its side. You would normally have it laying down flat. You have your buttons on either end at that point where that you would push in, compress, that will allow the system to scissor open as you see here. So when you look in your system, you have your system opened up here. You're going to notice a lot of components, a lot of cables, a lot of colors, and Dell engineers have done a fantastic job in how they lay these systems out. And just before we get to the hard drive here, I just want to point out a couple of items to just kind of familiarize yourself with your system. You have your video card and your control slots right here for plugging in expansion cards, such as if you're going to connect a printer, you're going to connect, change out your video card, an additional network interface card, things of that manner, a dial-up modem. Those devices would be connecting in here. Now you also have your memory slots right here. The processor is underneath this cooling unit right here. Of course, your power supply and your wiring harness. Now, in looking at the optical drive and the coloring, you'll notice the difference in the colored tag here, and then also at the other end of the cable, and it's the same way for your hard drives as well. In this case here, the cable I just unplugged is for your hard drive. That's your IDE or EIDE hard drive. Again, at that same website, support.dell.com, in that manual, it will tell you whether you have an IDE hard drive or a SATA hard drive. When you are changing your hard drive cable, let's say it got pinched, or it has been determined that the cable is the issue and not the drive, you simply pull on this tab, look at the guides that you have here on your system, pull those through there gently. Try not to tear those, because when you put that cable back through there, this keeps everything in line and uniform where it needs to be. Again, when you close your system, you don't want your cable to be overlapping the edge of the system. You've got a bigger problem. And again, there's another clip under here that holds the cable in place. You'll notice right here, you just gently pull on the cable and it comes right out. No trouble at all. Now, in setting this cable aside here, you can clearly see your hard drive. Your hard drive here has one of these power connectors we talked about here already plugged in. Again, firmly grab a hold of the power connector. You may have to wiggle a little bit, but it will come out. If you notice, it's also keyed. What I mean by that is the shape of the actual plug itself. It's squared off on two of the edges, and on the other side it is rounded off. It's only going to fit into this drive one way. It's the same thing with your cable. There's a notch cut out right here. Some drives also have a pin missing. If you look at the end of your cable, you will see the blocked in area for the pin that's missing, and you also see the little guide pin, or the guide key, if you would. Now, in pulling your hard drive out of here, again, you're not going to need any screwdrivers or wrench or hammer or anything else. All you need to do is look at these guide rails right here. Plastic rails right here. You just pull these two together, go ahead and grab a hold of it, and your hard drive slides out really easily. When you get your hard drive and you have your replacement, this is where you will need a screwdriver at this point, because you want these guide rails put back in place so that if you ever have to pull this out again, it makes it easier. Standard Phillips head screwdriver right here. We'll pull these screws out. This rail will come off. Put it in the same way that you have on the existing drive. It's always a good idea to just do one side at a time. Take it off of this side, put it on your new drive, and then do the other side. That way you don't get yourself turned around. Then of course, when it comes time to put it back in, it will just rest right in this cradle right here, and then gently push it back in until it clicks. Reconnect your power cable, just like so. And then you're going to look at your cable where you have a double connector here at the end. That's always going to connect to the actual drive. You notice the difference in color here. This one's black or gray, and then this end is blue. You're going to connect your blue end to your motherboard, and the drive that's the connector that's on the far end will actually physically connect to the hard drive. You're going to connect your cable, connect it to your hard drive first, run your cable back through the guides that are built in the system, again, to keep your cable from getting pinched or damaged. Run this back through this guide here, pull it through, just plug in like so. Again, once over, make sure everything's in line, make sure everything's connected, that there's nothing that's fallen in the way, and close your system, reconnect your cables, power your system on, and you should be ready to install your operating system or what have you at that point.